Hello and welcome to Code with Anand. So far in this series, we have done a few important things like first we created our custom object, then we created our job tile LWC, then we fill the record for the job object, and then we created our this hire me application. Okay, so we created our backend data model and we built a reusable job tile LWC component. So now we need something to bring everything together. Okay, and we can put that into the home page. So in real LWC project, you never place everything in one component, and you know that. So you always have one parent component and multiple child component. And the parent component is responsible for fetching data, managing state, coordinating child components. So same in our project, the parent component will be the job board LWC, which we are going to create in this lecture. Okay, so let's go ahead and create our main parent component job, and the title of that component will be job board. So let's go ahead into the VS code. So once we are in the VS code, let's go ahead and create our LWC. So how we are going to create it? Let's go ahead and click shift command and P, and then create our lightning component, and the component name will be job board. Okay, so our job board component is created. Now it has same our HTML, JS, and meta file. So in the HTML, what we are going to do, we are going to use our lightning card. Okay, in under the template. So we can do like LWC card, and we will remove the div, most of the div for now. And under the card, we will give our title. So title will be, let me control Z, let me give some space, and then title will be our hire me job board. Okay, and under that one, let's go ahead and create one div, and under this div, what we are going to do, we are going to load our job board. Okay, or job search, something like that. So for now I am not going to give anything, but let's go ahead and under this div, let's add some static code, and here how it will be. So let me just show you under this one. Okay, there are two closing bracket was coming, then we will give it as a job board is loading. Okay, so something like this we can give, and then under this div I want to give the some styling as well. So how we can give the styling, you know that LWC provided us the SLDS styling, so I'll give some padding. So SLDS, then P, I want to give the padding all around, so I'll use around, and then what kind of padding, so I want to give the medium. Okay, so our card is ready. Now if we go to the JS, or instead of doing any coding here, so let's go ahead, because this job board is doing nothing. If I just go ahead and I make this as a true, exposed to true, and then here under the target I'll add for lightning home page, and if I deploy it, so let's deploy this to the org. Once this is deployed to the org, let's go to the app. Let's go to the app, and then here under the app we can click on edit page, and instead of this dashboard which we have here, let's remove this one and put it our LWC. So what I am going to do, I'll search for job board here, and I'll remove this dashboard from here, and I'll add our job board. So you can see, if I save it, this is nothing but the simple LWC which is having hire me job board, and job board is loading. So what feature we want here, we want that someone someone if come on this console, and under this home page, they can search the job available in the market. Okay, and to do that we need to create one lightning input where they can search it. And to do that, let's go ahead and create one more child component called as job search. Okay, so let's go into the VS code, and here let's go ahead and create one more component, lightning web component called as job search. Okay, so our component is created job search, and under this job search, what we are going to do, we are just going to simply use lightning input. I'll search for LWC input. Okay, and here this lightning input, and then label of this input we can keep it as a search job. Okay, so I'll remove this one input label and then keep it as job or search job. Okay, and then I want to give some title as well. So what I'll do, I'll go ahead and under the title I'll give as search for this title. And then here, because this is lightning input, so it accept on change event. It means that whenever you are doing anything or you typing anything, it will capture those event and then return into the JavaScript which you can use further. So I'll keep the event name same on change. Okay, and then handle input change, I'll copy this one, then I'll go into the job search JavaScript here, and what I'll do, here the name was handle input change. Okay, so we will pass the event from, because this will be used under, we are going to use this under the parent component as a job board, and here whatever is getting searched we pass that into the job tile. Okay, job tile. So how we are going to do, and because we want to pass the event from child to parent, so to do that, you know that since beginning we are saying that the golden rule is data is flowing from parent to child, but if we need to pass from child to parent, then we need to go with the custom event. And how we can do that custom event, so let's see here. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to call this method, and here we simply use event, and then we'll create this method, and here we need to dispatch the custom event. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to use this dot dispatch event, and here under this event what we need to do, we need to create new custom event, we need to create, which I told you. Okay, so we need to create custom event, and the custom event we need to pass the name, the one which you want to pass into the parent. So I'll give the name is as a search change. Okay, and it accepts two parameters, this custom event. If you hover over here, you can see it accept type as a string, that which type of event, and then event initial Dixon. So it accept two parameters. So first is the this one, and then second will be, we are going to use comma separated, and then second it will accept the detail part. Okay, and here we will give detail colon, and then here we need to pass the event dot detail dot value. So it means what it will do, whatever you are entering into the input job search, it will take those value and then it will pass to this event, search event. Okay, so I'll remove this one, this is not required, so I'll remove this one and I'll save it. So okay, so event dot instead of detail I will use event dot target dot value. Okay, so this will pass the value into the search change. Now this component capture the user input, then it send the input upward to the parent, and now our job search is created and we want to use this into the parent. And to do that we have to use do using slots. Okay, and how we can do that, so let's go ahead and here remove this one, because we don't want this speed loading. So I'll just remove this one, and instead of that we use we have to use C column, then the component name job hyphen search. Okay, and then here we need to pass here what we have created, search event. So when you need to use the custom event in the parent one, you need to append the on in the beginning of the event name. Okay, so how we can do that, let's go into the HTML, and then here we have to use on, then paste it on search event, and then you need to click equal, and then we need to pass the method name, and then we can close this one and then accept it. And under the method name, whatever user entered, we need to capture this one. So here what we will do, handle search change. So whatever input user entered here, that input will be passed to the job board, and from here we will capture that input under the handle search change. Okay, So I'll copy this one, I'll save it, and then let's go into the JavaScript of job board. And here what we will do, we will define our handle search change event. Okay, and we'll simply, for now we are not going to do anything, so I'll just save it. Now to use that, let's say user is searching for let's say if we go to the our console, and if we go to the jobs, let's say users want to search with the job name, and job name as a Salesforce LWC developer. So if a user enter LWC developer, then that should pass to the controller to get that job which is having the value as a LWC developer. And how we can do that? To do that, we have to go with the Apex controller. Okay, so let's go ahead in the VS Code again and create our controller or class. And how we can create the class? Let's do Shift Command P and then create Apex class. Okay, and the Apex class name will be Job Controller. So our class is created public with sharing job controller. We don't want the constructor here, so I'll remove it. And then we need to define Aura enable. So I'll accept it, and then I'll make it as catchable equals to true. And I don't want this auto suggestion one. I'll remove this one all, and we will create our own method. Okay, so this is Aura enable equals to true. Then let's go ahead and we'll create public static list of, we want to return the job. We want to return the job, so we will say job underscore underscore C, and then the method name will be get jobs, and we will use this way. Okay, and here it will accept the parameter which user search into the input. So I'll keep it as a search key and I'll save it. So how it will do, it will pass through the LWC search key. Then we created our string as the key where it will accept the search key, and then we are writing one query where select ID, name, description, location. We don't have this field, so we remove this one. Let's go ahead and see which field we have. So let's go and open any job application. So we have job name, so we stored into the name. Then we have description, we have location. Let's go and see what other fields we have. We have salary, and then we have type. So what we will do, and we also have company. Okay, so I'll copy the name from here. Let's go to the VS Code, add company underscore underscore C. Then we have location, we already added. We have salary underscore underscore C, and then we have type underscore underscore C. So these many fields we have. So we'll save it, and we are doing here from the job search where name will be like the key, and then order by, we don't want the order by or something like that. So I'll remove this one. Okay, we just want to with the key, and we'll just save it. And let's, once this is saved, let's deploy this to our org. So our class is deployed. So once the class is deployed, what we need to do, let's go into our job board. Let's go into our job board JavaScript. Okay, so this is our JavaScript. So we need to import job board method. Import get jobs from Salesforce Apex job controller class we have, and then we have get job method. So job controller and then get jobs method. Okay, so we will save this one. Now we already defined the here the handle search change, and under the event, what we will do, let's define one variable here as a track @track, and why it's not visible here. So to use the track, you need to import here as well track. Okay, and then under the track we will create variable as a search key equals to empty string for now, and under the search key we will store the value entered by the user while doing the searching the job into the job search LWC. Okay, so what we will do, we will store the search key equals to event dot detail. Okay, event dot detail, and I'll save it. I'll format this one. Let me see if we have the formatter. Okay, so now it's formatted. Now once we have the value inside the search key, then we need to use the wire decorator. So we need to use wire here as well. So I'll add wire, and then what we need to do, we need to use wire here. Okay, wire method, and for wire method we need to use here get jobs, and then we need to pass the parameter, and parameter was in the Apex. If we go, parameter was search key, so copy this one. Then let's go into the parameter. Here we will pass search key and then colon, and this, or instead of this we can use a double quote or single quote, and then we use dollar sign, and then we use search key. So I'll copy this one and I'll paste it here. Okay, so our wire is ready, and then here we will store as a jobs inside the variable. Okay, now whenever the search input change, this search key will be updated, and that triggers the wire automatically. Okay, and once that trigger the wire automatically, this will have the data inside the jobs. So once we have the data inside the jobs, let's go into the job board HTML, and here what we are going to do, we already have the search key under the div. So let's add one more div below that job search, and here we will add one more div, and then under that div we will use template. Okay, so we will use template. For each we can use, where we can iterate over the, or before iterating over, let's say if true. Okay, template if true, we have jobs dot data. Okay, and then we will close this template, and now inside this template we will use for each of the jobs data. So I'll use equal, then here we will use jobs dot data, and then once we have for all the list, then under that list we need to go for the item. So we have to use for item, then equals to, let's define any variable. So I'll define it as a job, and then I'll close this one, and once it's closed, then we need to use our jobTile which we created earlier. Okay, so we will accept this and we will pass the job here. So now key will be the job ID. We have to pass one key as well. So key will be our job.id, and then under the job.id, and the job will be job. Okay, so this way we can pass the data to the child. Or why this job is coming, if you go to the child component, you can see the name of this one as a API decorator. So here we will have the data, and we will remove this dummy data from here, and we can simply combine this, we can remove that one and we can use it. And if we go here, we have using our job name, then company details, and then the salary, and we will add much more fields. But first let's go into the job board HTML. So we have our tile here completed. Let's add some styling in the div, and then we will deploy this and see how this is looks like. So I'll add class, then here we will add some padding SLDS p around and medium. Okay, so I'll save this one and let's deploy this one. So deploy this source to org. Let's see if we are able to deploy it. It's giving error that on search engine is not the valid attribute for job search. So we need to first deploy the job search, deploy this org into the org, and then let's deploy the job board. If your child component is used in the parent component, so the okay, so we are still getting some error on search chain handle search is not valid attribute for the see job search attribute. All attributes should be in the lowercase. Okay. So let's go ahead and see why it's not taking. So if I go to the JS or here, okay, here it's saying it should be in the lowercase, so I add and I'll save it, and then let's try to deploy it again. So let's deploy and see if it's getting deployed or not. Okay, so it is deployed and we already exposed it for home page. So let's go into the our app. Okay, so now let's go to the home page and let's go and edit it, or we already have this one. So let's go ahead and refresh one more by using empty cache and hard reload, and we can see voila. So our hire me job board is looks like this. Now let's see if our search is working fine or not. So here if I want to search with the let's say Salesforce LWC. Okay, so looks like it's still there. So in that case we want to see if it's executed the query or not. So to validate it, let's go ahead and we add some logs here. Let this load. I'll go to the log. I'll remove this one for now, and let's refresh it one more time, and it's executed the log. Let's search the job search here. So I'll search with the Salesforce and see if the log is executed. Okay, so log is not executed that time, so we just need to validate if the search key is working fine or not. Okay, so how we can do that? Let's go and add some logs. So under the job search we are adding under the input search, and we need we are having the handle change input. So into the let's go into the job search here and add console. So console.log, and here we will have event.target.value input change, and let's add some console here as well. So under the search key, let's see if it is getting printed or not. So I'll add here console search key for the job board, and let's deploy both of the component and see the value is getting updated properly or not. Okay, so we will deploy both of the component, and let's go here, open the console here because we want to see in the console, and let's empty cache a hard reload, and then let's type something here. So we can see input change is getting captured here Salesforce, but this value is not getting passed into the parent component. So it's getting printed inside the job search here input change, but this change is not getting passed to the parent. So let's see what can be the issue. Okay, so let's see what can be the issue. So in the if you go to job board HTML, we have passed everything in the small letters. So what we can do, we can copy this one and let's pass everything in the job search into a smaller. Okay, and save it, and let's deploy one more time and see if it is getting printed or not. Okay, so let's deploy both of them and then let's see. So we deployed it, and let's go into the empty cache hard reload and empty cache hard reload. So I'll clear the console here and search for Salesforce. So you can see now it's getting updated in the job board as well, and we'll search for LWC. Okay, so now it's working. So we search for LWC and we are only getting the Salesforce LWC. So this is how job search is getting reflected on the home page. Okay, so job board passes each job record down to the job tile and the job tile display. So here how this is working. So job board pass each job record down to the job tile, whatever the record is returned after search key, and then job tile displaying that data. It doesn't fetch anything, it's just displaying based on the data passed from parent to the child. So okay, so this is clean LWC architecture. JobBoard here is a parent, then JobSearch is a event sender, and jobTile is a UI renderer, and Apex is nothing but the data providers. Okay, so in this lecture we built the core of our application. Like search is working fine as we just see here. If we search for Salesforce admin, we can see just admin is coming. If we remove, if we search developer, developer is coming. So search is working fine. Data is coming from the Salesforce. So in the next lecture, we will allow user to apply for the jobs and show success message using toast notification. So that's it for this lecture, and see you in the next lecture.